You are listening to King's Court Podcast.
If you're graying, join us. Is everyone ready to start?
Yeah, sure.
I'm good, yeah.
Excellent. All right, everyone. Another episode of the King's Court Podcast. In this corner, we have me, Brandon, the King. And in the other corner, we have...
You have Aksu, the quote-unquote best 2015 Netrunner player ever, based on my recent results in the league Larea is running.
You mean by beating Larea herself?
Yeah, and I beat like Cable Carnage, I think, also, so I might be the GOAT.
But you're not totally sure yet.
I did get my ass whipped by Minstrel, so it's like up in the air still.
Oh, there. See, now we get the full truth. We get the full truth. All right. We need you to tell the truth on here, okay, Aksu?
No, I keep on lying.
Steady be lying. And today we have a special guest. I'm super excited. I actually thought that it was the first Snare Bear we were gonna have, but it turns out it's the second. Shout out to Safer. You know, this is I'm super excited because this is someone who is, you know, as me being a when I was a middling Netrunner player, you know, me and our guest ANALYZECHRIS in the building did
Hello.
a lot of grinding to get to the top. Jammed a lot of games. Chris, how are you doing?
Hey, doing great. Thanks for having me. Big fan of the podcast.
I'm happy to hear that. When you message me and are like, "Okay, talking points," and you're like, "And yeah, I know you like to do this, and I'm like, "Oh, damn, okay."
Damn, he listens for real.
There's a little bit of a story behind it because not every snare bearer enjoys the podcast format, but everyone wants to know what's going on the King's Court. So I publish the short court every week, where I just give a bulleted outline of all the bad takes on the podcast.
And when you mean everyone, you mean fucking Whiteblade. Like Whiteblade comes talking to me and is like, "Yo, 2 hours is too long, bro." I'm like, you either fucking love me or you don't. All right.
She's not the only one who requests the summaries, but yeah.
Listen, all you have to do is just cut it into pieces. It's like you're fucking peeling an orange. It's like just like absorb the content how you need to absorb, but like, bruh, like people need this. They need the full scoop.
Yo, but
you know,
we might need
we
to
don't
start
dilly
making
or
like
dally
TikToks or something to keep it on like.
Yeah, what do they want? Fucking shorts? How yeah? Like, I'm a fucking unk. What do you want from me? You want a fucking short? Like,
that would be kind of speak.
Listen, if you can't pay attention to me for 2 hours, just it's cool.
For a bunch of boomers, we do have a short attention span. That's true.
Boomer in age, attention span of a Z, you know. So Chris, because you know the podcast so well, you know what I'm about to say. The beginning.
Yeah. I started playing Netrunner in 2016 around Mumbed. I was taking a bike ride around Astoria, and then on a leisurely walk back, I saw a sandwich board outside the local game shop that said Netrunner today, and I was like, "What is this? I've heard of this game." All I remember of it was sold in data packs, which didn't make any sense to me. So I walked in, and there was Alex Internet, shout out to Internet from NYC, who was running a Learn to Play, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome! I've played Hearthstone before, but this was my first competitive TCG and or LCG." Yeah, it was amazing. I immediately went on Amazon and bought like every data pack I could get. Yeah, and New York City was a great local meta for me. We played in the basement of a 24-hour all-you-can-eat buffet, but there was no air conditioning. We played in a bunch of local game stores, and yeah, I jammed a lot on JNet, which is kind of ended up being my to-go way to play Netrunner. Yeah, so I was an unabashed Shaper player for a long time. My first like big Netrunner claim to fame was building the 2017 World's winning Laguna Lock Haley. That was kind of like I was before testing group. Well, before I was in the testing group, and I was just jamming on JNet competitive lobby. Shout out competitive lobby.
I wish.
Yeah,
I wish.
Those were the days.
those are good days.
And I would just keep a spreadsheet of like every game that I played. I still have that spreadsheet, and whether I won or lost, and what I thought was going on with the game. And I started getting really into like iterating the deck list. So yeah, I think Andre Nielsen played it and won Malaysian Nationals with it, and so he and I were like testing a lot online. And then Jess Horig won with it. It's a little bit of a big claim. Like other people were playing similar lists. I know Code Marvelous was playing a similar like Control Haley.
Nah, own it, own it, own it.
But yeah, so Haley is still my favorite favorite idea of all time. So yeah, so that was great. And then there was like not much going on for me for a while. 2018, I was not yet like a true spike because I remember 2018, I made a New Year's resolution to never play CI. It had just like harmed me so much irreparably, sitting against people just comboing off and with me having no agency whatsoever. This is like a common theme early in my Netrunner play. I remember in New York City, Chris Hinks was in the meta, and he lived in Astoria as well. And I would just play against his IG, and he just like res Genetics Pavilion, and I'd have nothing to do. Like I'll draw 2 cards, and then I die. So like for a long time, I like fought against the idea of like, wow, I don't want to do mean things to my opponent. This is terrible. I want to play a good game of Netrunner. And then Snare Bears fixed that pretty quickly.
Reprogrammed.
So you want to be a villain. So yeah, 2019 was the beginning of Snare Bears then.
Yeah, how did that start?
So I was not an original member of Snare Bears. It was a testing group that came out of Sovereign of Subways, which was a team tournament that New York City used to do. But
bring that back.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But in 2019, a bunch of New York City people were staying together at the Airbnb, and we were really excited about this Industrial Genomics deck, this VLC IG deck, which is pretty nasty. And Whiteblade heard about it. We were talking with her about it a little bit. So we met up, we did a little planning the night before, and we all got on board. And yeah, we kept planning ever since. So that was the first big tournament where like the brain trust came together. I didn't do great. It was my first like good world showing. I made day 2, like 40th or something. But it was great because I finally had a group of people I could test with.
And at that time, that was pandemic time. Do you feel like that had something to do with like coming together?
I'm not sure. Like, so that was just before, right?
Oh, just before.
Yeah, that was 2019. We went into lockdown, so that was in October, and then we went into lockdown in February or whatever, or March, next year. So that was kind of like Netrunner off season at the time. Yeah, but honestly, lockdown is where you come in. That was a lot of just jamming games online constantly.
God, that was fun.
It was pretty good. Like it was good because it was social. I wasn't doing much at home.
Do you remember hacktivist meetups or like tournaments?
Yeah, I remember a couple of those. It's funny. Like I used to play so many online tournaments, and then I was playing in the Showdown recently. Yeah. And I didn't know anything about like the controls or the fact that the TO can talk to you while you're playing, and I was like, "Wow, this is great! This is crazy!" And I realized it's been like years since I've played in these. I guess I played American cons, but that's about it.
Yeah, the
online tournaments were sick.
The TOs being able to talk to you is like hella new tech. It's like 2 months new.
Yeah, I want to pause here because there's like, I feel like in this time, okay. You and I agree. We have so many moments. There's so many moments, and like one that stands out to me is actually like these are very early days, and I was very nervous about like asking people to Oracle.
Interesting.
Like, I'm like, what if they just don't want to, or like, and it's like, ooh, they're gonna say like an awkward no, or they're gonna feel like obligated to be like, or like, whatever. And I remember just like, there's a few days like we'd be online. I think we were like, you're like testing for, I don't know what it was, a bigger tournament or whatever, and you were testing with like White Blade, and I was like, I should just ask him, and then finally I'm like, yo, Chris, like, to Oracle, like, would you want to play? He's like, oh yeah, sure. And like,
me play Netrunner? Yes, the answer is always yes.
Yes, and I swear we played like 10 games that very night. Like we just kept writing them out, and I'm like, holy shit! And I'm like, I'm asking him again, and oh my god! And there was just so many games. I remember playing, like the hacktivist tournaments, and you were a big like root outfit player.
Yeah.
And you, like, oh my god! Every time I thought I had you, and then somehow I ended up dead, and I was like, oh my god, how'd I die? I'd be like, Kyle, sad stuck. How did I die? Like, it's so funny. But yeah, so you said you had 40th, at Worlds 2019.
Yeah.
So far, the 2017, you made this sicko deck. So you're well on your way.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
and then you must have done something.
Yeah. And then it happened. Yeah.
So like between all the jamming online and a lot of harassment from my own testing group, in 2020 I came in 10th with Freedom Kamalo, the anti-Geist deck, which was a lot of fun. There's a good story behind it because, as usual, we're floundering before Worlds for what to play. Don't really know what decks to play. And everyone's really high on the Freedom. And I was like, I don't get it. I don't really understand the play pattern. As I said, I'm a recovering Shaper player, so I'm not used to just face planting into stuff and being that aggressive. So it was like 2 nights before Worlds. White Blade was like, okay, we're going to do just a night of testing, and we're going to make you comfortable on this deck. I was like, cool, this is great. This is the kind of support and care I need from a testing team. It sounds like these people really have my best interests in mind. And what followed was 5 hours of constant harassment and swearing and like pressuring as I played this deck. Like, no, that move is wrong. No, that's stupid. That's fucked up. You can't do that. No, you have to run this now. And I just kept like, every single action I took felt like it was wrong. And they weren't like intentionally trying to be mean, but like White Blade was just like, no, you can't do that. You have to stop doing it. And it was just like, I was so mad. I can't tell you like how frustrated I was. I was like, you're an asshole. Why are you doing this? But then like eventually I started winning games and I was like, oh, okay. So this is how the deck works. You actually have to like put pressure on them and force reses and make them poor and then trash all their shit. So yeah, the training weights came off and I started blasting people at Worlds and it felt great. So it was a typical Snare Bear success story of suffer for success. Right. The other side was Rococo Asa, which was just like whatever, uninteract. I didn't have to think about my opponent that much with Rococo Asa.
So do you want to tell the Rococo Asa story? Because I like this story. It's another one of our moments.
Why don't you tell it?
Okay. All right. Cool. So I'm like, I remember playing like just trying like different versions of Rococo Asa. Like I fell in love with this deck. Like I was like, oh my god, we're doing so many stupid things. Like I remember, I think my record is like Atlas with like 6, or Vitruvius with like 6 counters. Yep. Like something silly where you're like, oh, I just win now. Cool. I think it was that time where I'm like, Chris, like I like this deck, but I don't know what to play. Like I'm not sure if this is strong enough. So we're jamming it on Janet. He's like, bro, I think you should play this. He's like, yeah, I can't give you any information on Snarebed, but I think you should just play this. I'm like, okay, interesting. Apparently, you took the deck to Snarebed and just started jamming it, and I guess liked how it felt, and yeah, you did super well with it. Like it was yours. Were you triple Deddy one recorder or were Coco, or were you and you were like two
triple
two
dedication, one Rococo.
triple Deddy, one Rococo, and two Daily Business Show, yeah?
I ended up on a GFI and a Daily Business Show.
Right. Yeah. It was so good.
Yeah, it's kind of like I could get my shaper kicks out by just playing HP instead, where it was a little more socially acceptable.
What? How much is like? If you remember, like, what's the most counters you put on a Vitruvius?
Jeez, I never really tried to max out, especially during Worlds. Worlds felt like I was like scrimping and trying to like score from 0 basically every turn.
Yeah.
So like I would only get to like 6 counters. I'm not one of those combo players, even though it may seem like it.
So we get 10th. That's amazing.
Yep, lost to Toby in the cut on CTM. Super favored matchup, felt really bad, but Toby is one of the goated CTM players, so can't be that mad.
I know they had a great run.
Yeah, then I'm pretty washed through the next couple of years. Got scrubbed out of 21 Worlds pretty quickly. Didn't play a lot during the pandemic otherwise from that point. And then Toronto was like also whatever. I played the Endurance Freedom, but also got knocked out pretty early. And then Barcelona, I didn't even go to. It was my first World that I missed due to getting married, getting a house, all that stuff.
All that adulting stuff. Hey, like people, listen, if you're going to adult, like, like think about it first, and and then like still do it, but like just think about it first.
Just think about Netrunner. 2024 was San Francisco. That was awesome. That was the deep dive Sable list. So much fun. Bubbled out 17th, which was whatever.
Pain.
I mean, 17th feels crazy because I had not played the deck, I don't know, until like a week before Worlds, when we had this like epiphany that Deep Dive Sable could have game against basically every deck. Even the Ag Infusion, which was kind of shocking.
Did it have game into Ag Infusion? That feels kind of sketchy.
Well, yeah, you have on your Deep Dive turn, you have 6 clicks, so they can boop you and you can just jack out and try again if you have enough money.
Yeah, the money part is the scary part to me.
Yeah.
Not if you have Sisyphus scored, huh, Whiteblade?
No, the Sisyphus. I had not seen much of that, but that was admittedly pretty nasty. And then this past year in Edinburgh was another top 16 undefeated.
Yay!
Swiss.
You have more than me now.
And that was a lot of fun as well. So Sable and Leo kind of felt good playing decks that I had played consistently for maybe 3 years straight. So super comfortable in the decks, and I'm glad that they were like actually good meta picks.
Okay, so you had 38 points of a potential 42. What round did you start IDing? Because holy, 38 points is crazy.
Yeah, it was 42, so it was what, 13 rounds of Swiss?
I think 14? It was 14.
14. So I offered an ID in round 10, but it wasn't accepted. So I played the game, won that, and then
vaporized them for disrespecting you.
And there was a certain point when people couldn't afford to ID with me because so many people were clustered in that area that just a tie wouldn't be enough. Like they didn't have enough points to successfully ID with me, so I had to play them anyway. So I got my first ID in the penultimate round against Kikai, I think, and then ID'd the last round as well.
So you went 12-0.
Yeah,
you're at 36 points after 12 rounds. That's That's a run. That is
Yeah.
like, we thought that the Jai thing wouldn't happen again, and then the very next year you just topped it. You're like, to Jai, hold my beer.
let me lose in the cut as quickly as humanly possible.
That
happens to be.
Yeah.
That's rough. That's rough. Do you regret picking the side you did for your first round, or it was fine?
That's a good question. I think in a vacuum, that's the correct pick. Shaper is like a very good matchup for me, and it didn't. It did have like one. What's the card? The Anarch card.
Direct access.
No, it had the Anarch card that Shred.
Shred.
You have to trash cards from hand depending on how many cards you have in the remote. I don't know. That didn't seem like such a big deal to me. The breakers didn't seem great, and it didn't have direct access. I was like, this seems fine. The other side would have been RH, and in our testing, like I wanted to play RH. I was really heavily testing that Sisyphus RH with Dan and D. But the reason I didn't play it is because it just obliterates reg crim. You can't face check stuff. Like, you'll just die. Whereas if you had dolls, you could face check whatever you want. They can't spend 30 credits to res 4 ice. But they're happy to spend 7 because you don't have your revolver out or whatever, or you don't have your shibboleth out, and they res the crazy code game. So so like that alternative didn't seem great for me. So yeah, I think I would choose that again. I'm really tilted that I lost the Akko, because that's supposed to be a good matchup, and I think the tilt persisted into the second round of the cut. Played a little sloppy. I think I double transferred at one point and left myself on one tag.
Oh no,
that's tough.
No.
Play 12 rounds of perfectly controlled, perfectly logical Netrunner, and then randomly double doof against an Akko. Seems bad.
Game's hard.
But yeah, so that's motivated me to keep going, keep playing competitively.
So, like, no retiring in the near future. We're still going to keep going.
Absolutely not.
But Netrunner isn't the only competitive card game you play.
This is true.
You want to talk about what else, what you're cheating on us with?
Sure. So I do play a little Flesh and Blood. This is another competitive card game. It's a TCG, which is the most toxic business model. So I don't try to publicize it that much. But dude, it's super fun. It's such a great game.
Yeah.
You get a similar thing to Netrunner, where you have an ebb and flow of tempo, which you don't necessarily get in a lot of these kind of dude bashers, where you just kind of build up a crazy board. So yeah, I'm trying to hook more people onto it, but the only other bear who plays is Whiteblade.
I really thought about starting to play it, because back home, at home, there's 4 other people who play Netrunner. So I could kind of get other tournaments going. But yeah, the TCG aspect just doesn't sit good.
There's a new format that is basically the Pauper version, the budget format that came out, which is pretty great. So I can recommend that. It's $20 decks. And just like JNet, they have Talishar online you can play for free.
I already have my reservation about JNet already. I used to be a JNet grinder, and I don't know. Nowadays, I just think everybody's evil on there.
Evil, evil, trying to snipe your games or whatever. How evil?
Oh, check this out, Chris. you wait for this, Chris. Tell them why you think they're evil, Aksu.
And they play Provost and Stule into me. That's pretty evil, right?
Why else, Aksu?
They're passive aggressive sometimes. I don't know.
Explain how, Aksu.
No. Maybe I don't dig deeper on that one. It can be left for readers.
There's a salt mine to be delved into on JNet for sure.
I don't know.
Listen, I'm going to use this platform to shout from the mountaintops that we need to get a competitive tab back. It's Yeah, it doesn't even have to be a tab. Like if you look on Talishar, you just select what type of game you want to play, and it just puts it right in the title of the game. It says competitive game. Like it's literally a string of text, and that way there's at least like some communication as to what people expect. You don't end up with like a 154 card Profdivos or whatever.
Okay, I have a question. Do you think that the people who are playing 154 card Profdivos don't know what they're doing?
Yes. I for real think
No,
it's not being evil, it's actually ignorance.
Right.
Really?
So well, listen, if you made a lobby that said competitive and then they join, now you have the evidence to be like, I'm sorry, this doesn't make sense for you to be here, but thanks for joining anyway. Please join a different lobby.
Imagine I'm the person building my little Thule deck, and I come into your game, and you tell me that I'm not supposed to be here. Like I'm not cut out for this.
The playground is over that way.
I thought I was really competitive. I've won my last 10 games, and this big bad ANALYZECHRIS told me I couldn't do it.
Listen, at this point, I'm okay with the hashtag going. It's fine.
A real true snare bear to the core. We love it.
The way you can frame it is like the way they do it on Talishar is you can be like looking for meta decks, looking for a particular ID, right? Like there's a billion ways you can do it. It's so simple.
I will try to help this along. I have a direct line to Kelly.
Oh hell yeah!
So I will. This sounds like a great idea, by the way. So shout outs to you. And yeah, we should get support behind this. This sounds like something I would love to. For the reasons of, I think sometimes like like there's an event, okay, and maybe with the rise of the internet and since the pandemic, your testing group doesn't have to be in the same place as you. They can be all over the place.
I don't think any of them are in the same place anymore.
I mean, besides esports,
brother, they have like French people there.
They have a couple.
Like
okay?
half
Like
of the team
most
is outside of UK now.
Most of them are in where they say they are. But like my point is that you have an event, maybe people in your testing group aren't attending, right? Maybe they're busy, maybe they're life, all this kind of stuff. It would be nice to be like, okay, I just need to get some competitive games in,
Yeah.
Yeah, like that would be really nice. Or like, I have this new idea that seems pretty good, and I don't want the first 3 games that I queue into it to be fucking like Hayubu, okay? Like, shout outs to all you Hayubu players out there.
I'm cutting that part out.
Never censor me. It is what it is. I said it. If they have a problem, they could DM me. Leave comment, like, comment, subscribe. All right, all that good stuff. But I think that would put a lot of people at ease. I think there's a lot of people who, can even affect like ban list decisions, right? Where it's like, I don't want to go on JNet and play Alco 10 times. So those people like don't have to, and we can kind of separate it out like that. I think it works for like, right?
And I think if you make it entirely self-selective, nobody gets to feel about it. Does anybody know like why the competitive lobby was even like got out or like deleted?
Yes, absolutely, because it wasn't being used. It was an extra click to tab over there, and when you tab over there, you see there are no games there. So why would you make a game there? Because most people, when they look at the lobby, they're looking at the standard lobby, and the dopamine says, I need to click on this open game. It's open. That's the fastest way I can get to a game, so I click on it. So why would anyone make a competitive game if it required more clicks to get there?
Okay.
So if you just keep them all, if you'll just keep them all on the same list, right? You could see, there's 3 open rooms. One of them is a competitive lobby. 2 of them are casual. I'm trying out this weird, like jank deck. So I'm just going to go in the casual lobby because I don't want to see another Akko. I've played 7 Akkos already. So I know I'm not going to get an Akko if I don't go to the competitive. It's like a win-win.
It does sound like nobody loses in that exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, I will, I'll see what we can do. I'll see what our boy Kelly has to say.
Can
about
you
this.
make it so like playing Proudus is unselectable in the competitive lobby?
It's just dimmed out.
Yeah, like the deck's just doesn't show there. Like if you try to pick an Eternal deck, it doesn't show up in the like list.
Proudus is a fun puzzle to play against sometimes, but then when you lose, you just have to go, oh, that was just totally RNG. It doesn't count.
No, I listen to the Showdown. I know what like Proudus does to people.
Listen, Axu, you know, like I'm good, okay, but I can't save you from the hordes of people the next time we're at an event. Like Team Probdivos, they're gonna have their shirts, they're gonna have their like their flag, like their affiliate. You know what I mean? They're gonna have all their colors. You know,
They're on deep, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna be Team Yellow.
Yeah.
What else is on the Probdivos art?
A
What other
building.
colors? Yeah, they're gonna have the building, Team Yellow,
Postcards.
and they're gonna rush you, dog. Like you can't just be, you know, you got to be nicer to the Probdivos folks sometimes. Like sometimes you gotta take one for the community. You know, this is gonna be a 40 minutes of your life you'll never get back, but you just suck it up and do it. You know, you can't top right corner all the time.
I do, and I will. Like, I'm not subjecting myself to
that. Chris, so this is kind of sort of Netrunners, but a bunch not, I guess. Are you best teacher in Netrunner?
Oh wow. Probably not.
Own it.
I will own that I'm the best board game teacher in Netrunner. This is a skill that I have is teaching board games. But yeah.
Were you at PAX?
No, PAX is this weekend. I couldn't make it.
Oh darn.
But
oh no.
But yeah, we love us some board games. We play a bunch of board games in the testing team. Dune Imperium, Arc Nova.
That's how you made like Andre fall in love, right?
I don't know. We played Arc Nova together in Montreal. That was fun. At NAMPC Montreal. that was right when the expansion came out, so we're all super excited.
Okay, I asked people and they were kind of like, can Dune be oracled?
Ooh, great question.
Can I one day just start smacking you all up in Dune? Is that a thing?
I'm gonna say probably. I'm trying to think of like how much information's on the table, and the worker placement aspect means that you need to know where people have gone that round, which is going to be, I don't know, up to 10 spaces, and you're listening just for like which ones you want to go to. So that's pretty easy. You have a hand of cards. It's no different. And then you've got like the strength of people's combat in the battlefield. That's like not that hard to keep track of either. So I'm gonna go out and say yes. Dune Imperium can be oracled for sure. The cards are also like less complicated. They're like they have certain symbols on them for like which spaces you can go to. But
all right, I'm joining the next teaching session.
Hell yeah!
I'm gonna be Dune champion. Look out for me, the king. Dune.
Apparently, Snarebears has like a ELO rating for Dune.
It's true, yeah.
Watch out.
One of the other things I do is make spreadsheets. I'm not like the best data scientist. That's Jeff for sure. But I do like formatting spreadsheets. So I just like cobble together a spreadsheet that calculates ELO for all of our Dune games to see like who's the best, who's like struggling to climb, and the answer is just Jonas. Jonas is way better than all of us at Dune. That's TBU 3K.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, it's not even close.
Tell Jonas I'm coming. I'm coming.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna climb my way up. Yo, Ronj, you better watch out for me. I'm coming. It's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna be Dune champion.
It's good because you get to like be hype about something and you get to like go crazy about a competitive thing, but at the end of the day, it's not your lifestyle game, so it feels good to just like get it out of your system.
Maybe I'd be much more friendly in Netrunner if I had Dune.
Are you a mean Netrunner player, Brandon?
I did some things at World that like Yeah, I did some things.
That sounds bad.
It was edgy. It was White Blade territory.
What
know,
did you do?
It was on that line of like, I did that.
Okay, explain, please.
I had someone clean get away my spin, and I didn't ask any questions.
Why would you? What?
Yeah, just pop it.
That's totally fine.
I ask questions. Like I'm like, because for me, I'm like I feel like Netrunner in a good game of Netrunner, I'm like, I bet you any money these like net $3 they're not getting are gonna matter. Like they're just gonna matter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is probably the game right here. We just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
And this is just like a blatant like, you know what I mean? Like, and I pop spin, and then like 4 rounds later, it happened again.
Oh wow!
And I oh wow is correct. I was like, ooh.
I mean, if they're so, they deserve to eat it.
I like playing a good game of Netrunner where like both players perform competently and like don't make mistakes, and you get to see like who outperformed the other person. But I mean, part of the game is not making mistakes. And part of the game is like having the mental load to over the course of a day to not like throw a couple games. I think sometimes I love the community so much, and people are like super helpful, especially when you're playing online. There's no stakes or whatever. To like kind of, and this happens in testing too. Like when you try to craft a perfect game, like, oh no, I want this game to represent the perfect game where no one makes any mistakes, and so that's more realistic for tournament play. So we rewind this and we take back that, right? But I think in a tournament setting, it's totally fine to just be like, oh, sorry about that, it's a little too late.
Yeah,
part of the game.
Yeah,
it is. I've been calling the judge a lot more. You know, I've been in win now mode. You know, I'm getting old. You know, I don't know how long you've been doing this for. You know what I mean? You know, like, you know, these games that I don't do these things and I lose. Like, now you got, ANALYZECHRIS over there have more top 16s than me. You know, I need to come out this year with a vengeance. But like, yeah, lately I've been a little bit less, jolly-ish in terms of like the play. I had a play where, this one is like, so me and Peter H were talking about it after, and Peter's like, look, you gotta make them emotionally have it. And I was like, holy shit. I don't know if I've ever done anything like this. It was kind of, it was probably fucked. I'll be kind of honest. Like, so I forget. Yo, this is crazy. I can't believe I'm admitting this on the pod. I forget to Lacosta Charlotte. Okay.
Yeah.
And I draw, like, I Mando draw, and I'm like, oh shit, I like forgot. Do you mind if I like do it? They're like, I don't know. Let's call the judge. I call judge. Judge comes over. Is like, yeah, it's okay. Do it. Like, do your Lacosta counter. So I do my Lacosta counter and rest Charlotte and do Charlotte things.
Like Lacosta was rest already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that yeah.
And it's like, I would say probably that like to me, it's like if I get to put the counter on the Charlotte, I should be able to do the Charlotte, but like I could see where people are like, no.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this is for all the marbles. I'm gonna do it. And if you want to stop me, you're gonna have to call the judge on it. Yeah, sure. I need this money and I need these cards. And if I don't get them, it's because the judge said I cannot have them.
Yeah, that calls it a little iffy because like if you draw a card, you Mando draw, and it's like an agenda, and you don't want an agenda, maybe you don't want to draw another card. I don't know. Maybe you
like for sure
politely forget.
For sure, you shouldn't have gotten the Charlotte trigger there.
Say that again.
You shouldn't have gotten the Charlotte trigger there.
Yeah, I thought it was sus AF, but you know,
you still did it.
Bro, I was like, all right. I'm like, why else am I putting this fucking counter on this card? I'm gonna flip it up.
Agenda or anything.
I didn't put this counter on this card for nothing. You know what I mean? I'm like, cool. We're gonna try it. You know, like, and we, and funny enough, you say, Chris, it actually was bad for me. It actually
Amazing.
so like, karma, like I ended up winning, but those two particular cards, yeah, they could have been somewhere else. But yeah, I've just been, trying to win games.
More.
No. I guess for me, it's kind of like how I looked at it was just like basically what you're saying is that like I can't see the next card because I've seen this card, which is like very fair.
Yeah.
But like it was like if done correctly, it was a card that I was going to draw anyway. I think too, what happens sometimes, and why I'll be lenient to my opponents on that sort of stuff, is because like time is a factor, and you're like certain times, like sometimes you're just trying to go fast.
Yeah.
And so I was like, look, I want us to both have a fair shot at like winning this game, and there's like 10 minutes left, so I'm going. You know what I mean? Like to give us the most amount of turns to try to do the stuff.
Did you feel time pressure at Worlds this year?
Time pressured? I mean, there's one game, and I've documented that one.
Okay.
In the pod.
Oh yeah. I do remember that. Yeah, I just felt like generally games are pretty snappy at Worlds this year.
Yeah, other than that, no, I felt fine. I feel like the better player I become, the less time is a factor.
I mean, yeah.
The lines don't take as long to figure out.
You also have like way more lines which are kind of like automatic, which you have like figured out. Especially if you have played the deck like 1,500 times, you just know sometimes like, oh, I'm supposed to do like.
Yeah, like your lines, stage play.
And to be fair, like Netherlands rules about like mistriggers are kind of lenient outside of like deciding to rest Charlotte after.
Yeah, this stuff doesn't really fly in Flesh and Blood. You just like you miss a trigger.
I can imagine. Okay, we can cut this. I'm going to ask you a question. We can cut this out if you don't want this in here.
Sure.
But I think one of the things that you've helped me with over the year, I remember this stuck in my head, and I want to talk about this because you've historically been a very big like JNet grinder, but also just like you get a lot of games in when you're testing for a tournament, and like a lot of information, a lot of data. And I remember you telling me about how you and the Bears were valuing like, okay, yeah, we have these decks and like we feel like they're this good, they win this much, but like, kind of what goes into like picking decks, and some of it is like, hey, what's the field gonna play? What do we think the best deck is, that sort of thing. Do you want to like, or do you feel like you can talk about that a bit more?
Yeah, I actually have shared this process. I think with last year's Worlds in the deck list, but we do a matchup matrix, which you'll see in other card games a lot. Like I keep talking about Flesh and Blood, but going into Worlds for Flesh and Blood this year, they had all the data from the online client. So they literally had like 30,000 games, and you could see the win percentages of each hero into each other hero to get a sense of like who's favored into who. So we do something like that where we do a weighted one where you have just the meta decks. You don't have to do every single deck, but you have all the runners on the left and then all the corpse above. And so you have the expected runner win rate where the two line up. And so you get to see, oh yeah, so Hosh is like 55-45 into that deck. So that feels pretty good. But we only expect Hosh to be 15% of the meta, so it weights it. And then so you get a number for each identity of how well, like this kind of weighted average of how it would do against the rest of the field. And obviously we don't follow that entirely. This year this year there was less buy-in than other years, just because it kind of felt like on the runner side you could play whatever runner you wanted, and on the corp side, like people are already like had very strong opinions about the corps that they liked. And if they didn't, then the other opinion was all these corps suck anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So it's pretty interesting. The number one corp, according to the matchup matrix, was Epiphany, and we just we didn't have. I mean, so Whiteblade didn't play this year in the Worlds, and she was like our biggest Epiphany player. But yeah, even the other like strong Epiphany players didn't feel comfortable enough on the deck to bring it. But it turns out it was pretty good. It was pretty good on the day. Runner side, we had like all the runners as unfavored, or sorry, as slightly favored.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Dolls and Reg were like neck and neck. Dolls and Reg Crim. So it ended up being a matter of taste. But yeah, it's fun to argue over like, is this a 65% matchup, or do you just want this to be a 65% matchup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine it being kind of tough, especially without having like access to a lot of data that you have like in different games.
It's not data, it's vibes.
Yeah.
Like, so the first couple years we did this, there was so much pushback of like, these numbers are fake. They don't actually mean anything. Why are we doing this? And I'm like, your opinions are important. Qualitative data is still data.
Did you have ESSA in the matrix?
Yeah, ESSA was the third highest highest win rate runner, right behind Reg Crim and Dolls Crim.
Oh, really?
Another question.
Buoyed by its excellent win rate against like Leo and Combo Up.
Especially.
Right.
So there's a different world where Snerbers brings Esa and have a different world champion.
So again, you're a person who gets a lot of data, tests a lot of decks, right? So you get the data. What do you do when the data says you should be playing this deck, but this deck doesn't bring you joy at all? What is your advice?
In 2018, it would be, why would I play that deck? In 2025, it's like, oh shit, I need 1 billion reps on this deck in the next week. Someone please help me. I don't know. I've really embraced, like, what's fun for me now in Netrunner is the competitive angle. It used to be just the theme and just the mechanics. Coming from a board game background, I was like enamored by the mechanics of Netrunner. But I'm in such a rabbit hole now where the joy is in the competitive angle and testing and tweaking. That's the best part, is tweaking the deck list. I think I've just like annoyed the shit out of my teammates by like posting too much in Discord. Like, well, actually, I think it should be this card. Oh, maybe we should have like 2 copies of that. Like, it just goes on and on and on. But I really do enjoy it. So the answer is, yeah, play the deck that doesn't bring you joy, because eventually you might win with it.
That's fair enough.
Like, are there really like terribly unfun decks to play right now? I don't know.
But I don't want to play Reg Crim. Don't make me.
It's so pure. It's so fun. What are you talking about?
Don't make me do it, Chris, please. I'm just like morally opposed to Sable as a whole.
That's
but
crazy.
Like, yeah, Sable's terrible. Like, Sable's like having that much impact in the game flipping on whether you fucking rolled the right mark at the right time is fucked, by the way. Like, it's just awful. But like, sure, people love it. I know there's people who are like, who love it and are like, got him, and they know it's evil. Like when I used to play like Big Max, like peak of value winter, I knew I was doing absolute damage to the health of the game, but couldn't stop because the deck was so fun. Like I knew the damage I was doing. Like, Sable players know that like they like most of their games they have to flush in the toilet, because they know deep down it's like they rolled that mark at the right time, and they know that's why they won the game.
I'm so blessed to be here right now, where I can like address a bad take on this podcast live. It just feels so good. It feels so good. Sable is not that toxic. Like, what? I don't think a game hinges upon a single mark, and I also don't think it's not like Max. You're not. Yes, you are getting a lot of value. It's a high value tech, but there's so much skill expression in trying to force reses and trying to land transfers and denial, knowing when to contest, knowing when to pinhole. Like there's so much more skill expression than Max just like getting $50 and then like putting the runner in paralysis, putting the corp in paralysis.
Okay, sorry. I want to say that, and I can see how that sounded. I wasn't saying that Max and Sable were similar. I was just saying that like I feel like the effect was the same. That like whenever I play Sable and I do the thing, I'm like, there's like maybe it's not a moment, but there's moments. And I'm like, yeah, this rolled HQ when I needed it to, and like if it rolled Archives, this would be a much different game.
Sure.
All the stuff that you just mentioned is like Netrunner fundamentals and also just like playing Crim. It doesn't really have anything to do with like Sable. The thing that I'm like most like is just like you get a lucky extra click for no fucking reason. Like I was like,
I remember ID that gives you that. Like
I remember when we were testing Sable, and I was like, why the fuck did you put the best part of Beth on a fucking card? Like, I was like, nah, dog, this ain't it. This ain't it.
It's the best part of Beth, but you have to work for it, and sometimes it doesn't show up. And like, yeah, so every time I get it, you know, that juicy Archives mark, I feel like I deserve it.
You feel like you deserve it, huh? You know,
absolutely.
Listen, they even banned Blue Moose in the basement because of this card. You know, like it's too strong, dog. It was too strong. Nah, I was talking to I was talking to Bridgman today, and I was like, I think I rather play against 419 than fucking Sable because at least like 419 419 was toxic. Like it was obnoxious. It was more obnoxious.
Just put on eyes on Archives.
Yeah, like you could, you know, like it was more obnoxious, but like Sable is like if I against 419, like if I go Ice HQ, Ice R&D, like, and they like want to challenge my centrals or whatever, we have this game, but like you just get that, like if you're Sable and it rolls fucking Archives, like you just get like it's just silly. It's just kind of silly, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like I felt like 419 had to interact with you in more unfavorable ways, or like ways that they didn't know what was going to happen, than just you like rolling the spark, it being wonderful for you and not wonderful for me, and like that kind of thing. But like, but now it's like, you know, like Host just ain't bringing joy no more, and I'm like, man, I have to play this Crim deck. Like it's also blue, you know, and people are gonna find this like really wild because of my alt-art takes and all this stuff. But like, you know, if anyone asks red versus blue, I'm on red side, you know. So playing this blue thing is just like, but like, I have to admit, it looks pretty good. You know what I mean? It looks
it's
pretty
okay
good.
to expand your horizons. I changed my Netrunner DB, the color of my handle from green to blue just a few weeks ago. That's like 10 years of playing Shaper, and I'm like, nah, I'm a Crim guy now. It's fine.
Chris, you see this, like I'm in turmoil, and you know, like I trust you a billion. You know, anytime I was in those dark moments, I don't know what to play, I don't know what to do. Help me, Chris. Like help me as much as possible. And you would, you know. And so, man, Chris said I need to play blue. You see, he even changed his allegiance. You know what I mean? Like.
It's just another arbitrary thing that prevents you from playing the best deck, right? Like, if you want to play competitive Netrunner, you got to play the best deck.
Yeah, you also don't have to play Sable specifically, right? There are other Crim ideas.
Uncomfortable silence.
I mean, yeah, like there's other pieces.
Just before this call, you were saying like how good Zaya is and everything. You were hella copium right before the call started.
You meant that there's other pieces of cardboard that exist. I understand.
No,
I actually like.
Zaya is
I like Zaya. I like Zaya.
Exactly. Play that shit.
I'm memeing. I don't do like that. But I got to meme on you just a bit. Just a bit, you know. But like I do like that.
Also, Shaper is real.
Chris, how do you feel about this format? Do you feel like we're playing in Startup Plus?
That's a loaded question. That's so loaded.
Is it? I thought it was pretty straightforward.
I think it's fine. I think it's very good for the size of the card pool, right? I mean, I grew up playing Netrunner when you could only play Anarch and CTM. You know, there were entire metas where there was just like one deck on either side if you were seriously playing competitively. And I think sometimes we kind of forget that, and we're like, oh, everyone should be viable. Everyone needs to be able to play their deck. And the fact that I'm looking at this matrix with like 5 viable decks on either side is kind of cool, especially with a small card pool. You'd assume that like the power cards would just, you know, tilt the game in one direction. And I don't think they have. So like,
Really?
do I like playing in the meta? Yeah, I would say so. Like,
Okay.
you're. I think the tension between Leo and the asset decks is good. That you need to be able to tech for Glacier and for assets, and you can't like go overboard on either one. So yeah, I would say decent meta.
So when you're playing the cards, do you feel like the cards do enough? You're doing enough. You're satisfied.
Like I have enough agency. I have enough like effect on the game with my gameplay.
Yeah.
Generally, yes, and I think a lot of that is from like playing Leo, which is a deck that allows you some of the room for skill expression. Because playing other corps, I do feel like, oh, I just lost. You know, oh, that's a 3-pointer. Goodbye. This game doesn't count. But yeah, maybe I just like jump to Leo for that reason, so I could have 7 agendas and not worry about luck sacking on R&D.
That makes sense.
Do you wish that the tougher agenda suites would come back?
Wait, do you mean like? What do you mean by that? Like strong defensive agendas?
Yeah, or like 3 Bologna, 3 degree mill, or SSL, or whatever. Like 6 agendas
like
strong.
The 6
Or
agenda. No, I think that's pretty bad for the game. Like even though I would play it if it were the best thing, like as I said before, I just don't think it's like gameplay style when you can just not interact and like play these like really dirtily games. Leo has to try to score out, so yeah, you have this defensive sweep, but you also are forced to like push stuff. I think that's good design as opposed to 6 agenda as Mari.
Yeah, that's interesting. I was like, I'm having trouble with the low power level. Like I just feel like I think actually you brought up a good word today. Like it just feels like a lot of the corp decks I play are just gimmicky.
Yeah.
And like I don't like knowing that my ice will not hold in a way that like I want it to be beefed up to some incredible level, but that like I think one thing that I've noticed over time with Netrunner is that like the amount of runs that your opponent can make that are reasonable to make is like once a turn, and we've had situations where it's been very bad where they can make 2 runs a turn. Like, do you know what I mean? At like, whereas like I feel like before it was like, okay, I need to think about making this run because what am I going to do next turn as far as like how taxing that this is actually going to be? Like that just doesn't feel like it exists. And so
there's a super like fine line to balance there because like you want in a good game of Netrunner, you want the runners to be making runs. You don't want them to be so afraid of the ice that like they just sit back and money up. Right? That's not really a fulfilling game of Netrunner. So you do want ice that's relevant, but you don't want ice that just scares the runner into dirtling. Like both sides can be
correct.
Either side dirtling is bad for the game.
Yes, I agree with that. We want decent runs and not, as you said, not to be like, oh my god, if I make this one run, I'll never be able to run again, or anything like that. You know what I mean? Nothing like that. But at the same time, I don't want to be on the other side and just be like, yeah, twinning will always have these counters. They'll just keep running and like, unless I am Ob and can special summon my whole life to the board, like it's gonna be rough. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
I mean, it just does sound you like how you have higher power formats where you get to do more stuff. You have more access to like better cardboard and stuff, and like those do exist. You can play Eternal. That's like a real format you can do.
No. Eternal
Well, you should Did you play any retrieval run? Shout out to your previous guest, Bridgman. But it's like I just played some of those games, and it was shocking to me. It was shocking how fast the games were and how much happened in like a few turns. I was playing against Argus, and Argus had 5 points within like 5 turns. I was like, wait, what happened? You just pushed, and you still have money, and you still have money, and I still don't feel like I can contest. Like, how did that happen so quickly? Oh, Oaktown renovation, right? That's a good card.
So I'm glad you mentioned that because I haven't got a chance to play. But like when you're like, oh, they're like, yeah, they just did like Argus things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just also feel like, I think people have talked to me about this issue where there's like, you want your agendas to feel like they do stuff.
That is a huge issue. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right. Like because pushing blank cardboard is like, it just feels. Imagine you're like, okay, you drew, you mulliganed, you got your 6 cards. It's not the greatest set of cards, but you're gonna battle your way through it, and then eventually you get to a point where you can score. But it's kind of blank.
Okay, so
you put in so much effort, and then you score, and then suddenly you haven't made any more money, and now you're poor again, and you haven't won the game, but you're like 2 points closer to winning the game, so you don't even feel that good about it.
Yeah, you feel like you scored 2 points and you're up, but you went neg.
Yeah, that's the real back and forth tempo thing of it. Like scoring an agenda, like in the ideal game of Netrunner, should be a bit of a tempo hit for you. Like if you have too much tempo forward agendas, then it just kind of spirals out of control.
Yay and nay. Like I'm not
Awful
even
Office still
talking about.
exists.
I'm not even talking about Astro breaking down. I'm not talking anything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, Beal was cool because there was like options of doing more.
yeah,
I felt like the downgrade from Atlas of Vitruvius to these was like a big thing.
Yeah,
like a decent thing. You mentioned Oaktown. I think like hostile to Greenmail is just like in every form, it's just kind of like power down, power down, power down, power down. And as someone who's played the game for a long time, it's just kind of like, like I mean, like like sometimes it feels like I don't even know what a good analogy is, but like you can drive now and you have your own car and you can just go for a drive and it feels nice, but really, and that would be cool. But it feels like you're actually just like sitting on the ground and playing with your old like Hot Wheels. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so powered down. It's just, it like, it's just, oof. And so I think like that part's been like, I'm going through a hard where it's like, I want to feel like I am winning the games.
and you're not feeling like that right now.
Interesting.
No, yeah,
You only feel that way when you like land an indexing. You don't feel that way when you've like cleverly negotiated a crazy Alco board state, and you've realized that ice can't be res, and you realize that there's no more futs, so you can actually do this play. Like that doesn't feel like you've earned that win or that you've done something cool.
So like yes and no. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Alco was one of the only decks that like made me feel that way. But then people just like got better at playing Alco, and I got better at playing Alco, and I was just playing like the transfer host stuff, and I was just like, yeah, Alco, you don't really exist because like it turns out that without your assets, like the key ones, you just don't do anything. And like, and then it was kind of sad because it was like, and I also felt like Alco kind of ran to like once people got good, it was kind of like cohort or bust, and I hated that. Just like I hated Rashida or bust. It was just kind of like I feel like it's still way less dependent on me and more dependent on what my first 10 cards are. And like it's so interesting because I think about it now, right? And I get why people now don't like Six Mari or they don't want like Obakada or they don't want whatever. Like I wish I cherished those moments more or knew more what I knew now then, because there were so much less worries in the areas that I don't want to worry in. Right? Like when I'm sitting down from a good player, there's enough to worry about than like also having to worry about, like I hope I draw well. I hope that I get a cohort on the board. I hope that this access that like because like this is not the old days, right? Like ice, ice credit or ice is just not good enough. You know what I mean? So it has to be card, give me advantage in my remote, ice it, and like ice the central that needs icing, and you leave something open. And you just hope that there's not a 3-pointer on the top.
Yeah,
like the fact that I have to fucking play these 3-pointers is like just hell in itself.
I
Do you know what I mean?
know what time you're nostalgic for then. Basically, all the time I have been playing, like from 2020, has had similar stuff in there. Or 22,
you didn't play GFI?
22.
You didn't tell your opponent you have to steal 4 of these things?
But still,
like I just feel like when that's the sweep, there's less worry. When there's a hard-hitting news punishment at the end of this, there's less worries. Like you can play your game, even if it's a bad hand, your opponent has to worry or they're going to monitor the amount of singles. Nowadays, it's just like you're running like the balance you were talking about. I feel like Chris, more tilted in the please run, please run, please run. And I'm like, oh, that's not it's just very different. And like I remember always talking to Saki, he's just like, yeah, it's certain like that's why he played Leo. There's just decks that were just like all of them just make you nervous because it's a box of chocolates. You have no idea what you're gonna get. You're like, I put the cohort in the remote. They ran, stole oboe. I in this particular moment, I have to have the oppo to punishment or punish them, or it's my win percentage has gone down by like at least 20%. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, and it's nothing really skillful or anything that your opponent did or didn't do. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's just yuck.
Yeah, in a low-powered meta, like all things being equal, the runner is at a crazy advantage because all of their cards kind of do the same thing. All of their cards kind of build their board state towards their final form. And like, it doesn't matter if you drew a draw card, doesn't matter if you drew a money card, doesn't matter if you drew a breaker. They're all going to get played eventually. They all are part of your win condition. If in a low-powered meta, the win condition is accrue value, as opposed to the corp in a low-power meta. Sometimes you draw agendas and you can't do anything with them, and they're dead cards. All the other cards are like, well, is this the right ice I need? Is this the kill card I need? Right? It's a lot trickier to get the stuff you need to win. And this comes back to like the flat game state philosophy that Safer talks about. Like a runner doesn't have as much to worry about, especially if they know all the meta decks and they know like the extent of the threats the corp has to offer. It's a lot easier. There's a lot less margin for error for the corp who can just draw bad or get an unlucky access, as opposed to like 2018 when corps can do messed up stuff because they have 3 copies of Hunter Seeker in their deck. So like, oh, it's still an agenda. Well, I guess that breaker's gone forever, and that's fun. That's super fun, and I do look forward to like more power cards like that. It's just not the meta we have now because it's the smallest card pool of all time.
So with that said, right, you played. You're a net runner older than me, right? you played on like all throughout. How, like in a meta like this, where and how have you found?
The games themselves can be frustrating, especially courtside. But I do find joy in deck building. As I said, I'm the guy who iterates the decks to see if this one extra card helps, to see like what's the best way to spend my influence. So that's honestly the most fun thing for me is the deck building. It allows for like skill expression, identity expression to be like, oh, this is my kind of deck, and I think it would be good with this. I love the influence system because like cool splashy stuff is gated behind these factions, and it was really funny to play in San Francisco Deep Dive Sable, whose entire influence is 3 copies of Deep Dive, which goes against that philosophy. But that's like, I don't know, I guess that's like another good example of like, yeah, I can wrap an entire deck around this one card from another faction. So if you ask me if I'm making a deck for a tournament, that deck they'll have like 4 different versions in the 2 days leading up, just because I'm constantly swapping stuff. If Worlds were 2 days earlier this year, I would have rolled up with RH, Sisyphus RH, with 2 Seamless and 1 copy of Ganked, which I did not think would be possible. Like maybe that speaks to your point earlier about like the gotcha corp meta, but yeah, you got to try it, right? There's so many different things to try out of faction. So yeah, I'm a deck builder.
So maybe I should give my try at just trying stuff. Just go out there and throw the card and just try everything.
I mean, this is basically the current meta for you, where you're not like testing for anything big. You can just like kind of figure stuff out.
Especially corp side, because corps, the only thing they have going for them inherently over runners is the information asymmetry and like bluffing, and in a non-open deck list environment, it's very good to have something on the runner that they don't expect. And I don't mean like, you're mitosising out cerebral overriders or whatever, but like to prevent the runner from being able to just math out like, okay, I can contest this because the worst thing could be a MIC and it's probably a drafter, like you just can't win against like the Rotoms of the world who can just math out everything and know if you're really presenting a threat.
Okay. You know what? Be a new man. I'm gonna give it a try.
Don't be afraid of Kryn. Don't be afraid of Sable.
I'm not. It's funny. It's so funny. It's so funny. I play most of the Sable games I play, I win. Right, and you would think that because of that, you just keep playing it.
Yeah.
But then, like, Best Girl calls me back, and like, you know what I mean? Like like me and Best Girl, we were on a break, and then I talked to Sable, and then she got jealous, and you know what I mean? And so then like Hosh calls me back and is just like, and then like I just play her, you know what I mean? But like the Sable games I have played, you do get there, you do win, and you do like it's good. It's just a different rhythm and tempo. But
yeah,
I think
so my recommendation is you play a card like Reprise, where you feel like, oh, I'm doing something powerful. There are ways to play Sable in a way that's like that feels more empowering than just playing value runner smarter than your opponent.
It's so funny you say that because I did enjoy Loosely Hot.
Yeah, you can
I really
play
actually did.
You can't complain this much about shit.
It's like the same RNG issue. Like, oh, I drew something. Oh, I didn't draw something.
I don't know if I'm reg breaker D. You know what I mean, dear? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I have the appetite for that. But like, I did love Loosely Hot because you would just like Hermes, then Reprise, and then like there was a time where you like Hermes, you'd like their HK, and then you'd Reprise the other HK, and then you would throw like Burner into them, and then CD Ice, and then chuck it into the deck, and just like leave them wide open. You do evil things.
But you show them the burner before you play it because you had to show them on the Muesli draw, so they did see it coming.
They knew it was They knew it was coming. They knew bad things were about to happen. How do you feel about the games, or at least the runner games, seeming like the multi-access seem to revolve around twinning?
That is unfortunate, and I think that is like a problem with the card pool for sure. It's twinning is a fine card. It's fair. If you really want to, you could like get a mantle down and charge it on the corp turn or whatever. But it's we just don't have the options. We don't have a lot of good options for multi-access.
It's kind of also
I remember
when both Anarchist and Criminal end up being on the same win condition cards. That feels double bad.
For sure. Deep Dive was cool for that. Like everyone has their own kind of flavor of multi-access because multi-access is important in the game. Like you need to have some kind of like end state that feels good for the corp and an end state that feels good for the runner. And twinning is like one of the least satisfying ways to do that because you have to gradually charge it up over time, and it's just kind of lame that it's sitting there and you're just like, am I going to use it or am I not? Even something like Turning Wheel was, okay, I'm going to run HQ and bounce 3 times and then I'm going to hit R&D. I'm giving up a bunch of tempo and like not doing anything with my clicks just to do this one last hurrah. So yeah, I would love more interesting multi-axis. I love Top Hat. Top Hat was one of my favorite cards back in the day.
That's one of those you have to Google.
Yeah.
Oh, it's this one, yeah. I guess.
0 cost Shaper Harbor.
Yeah, that falls in my bucket of interesting.
No, it was never competitively viable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Top Hat. Wait, what was the card that went with Top Hat?
Mind's Eye?
Wait, was it Mind's
Eye?
No, it was Top Hat and there's something else.
Oh, the run event when you reveal the top 4?
Yeah. Insight. There we go.
That's some real jank.
There were things. They were.
Yeah, you didn't have to run. You just see the top 4.
Do you miss Trace?
Not really, actually. Like playing against HHN in this retrieval run was kind of edifying. Like seeing how much stronger hard hitting news is than Oppo.
Yeah.
I just kind of forgot. It's not because of the Trace, but Trace allows you to leverage large amounts of money against the runner, which is cool. From a game design standpoint, it's terrible just because it's like way too much complexity. So I don't miss it in that respect, but I do miss some of the cool things you can do with them. Macrophage comes to mind.
If Macrophage comes to mind as your cool Trace card, I think it's Joe.
No, Macrophage was so dope.
Hell no.
I'm really glad that you said that, Chris, because that's mine too. Like doing the shit with Macrophage, I can't explain it properly, but it was just the thing when you like, especially when your like your opponent was like, "Yo, I got him." You see the strength 5 turtle right here? There's nothing you can do. Then you res that phage right in their face, and you're like, back in the game. Like, there was always that little something, that could get you back, but then they could do something that, you know what I mean? It was nice. It was nice. That was and it was interesting because it was like, how many do you play? Do you want to see it? Like, but you don't want to play too much because like, if they're not playing this, it's kind of dead. It's very interesting. It's very interesting.
And nowadays, if there was turtle, you would just res Fly Swatter and they could still get through.
Oh, that's sad.
I think of it more like Hammer, where like now I'm resing the counter card for like double the amount of money.
Yeah.
And when they're actually just on like reg breakers, it just doesn't do anything.
I mean, neither does Macrophage.
Macrophage, same thing, yeah, for sure.
No, so here's the thing. Macrophage, they will never break. So we can play the money game if I want to play the money game because there's Trace 1 at the end, right? There's still play there. And then obviously there was more like Busta stuff you can do when Sandbox existed. But like even without that, it was still like there's a mini game here that you can kind of do. But like
I mean Hammer is like really good on face
Trace.
check and is kind of annoying to break for a lot of Hammer is better by itself than Macrophage is better by itself in your like situation where you're not happy to see the eyes.
Kind of like the subs are, but I think paying 6 to res is like you're paying 6 for subs that are not quite as relevant as they really should be for paying 6.
And also just like I think Macrophage is like a got you for like a specific problem, or it can be. But Hammer is like as I said with the Macrophage, it doesn't come up all the time. But like because it's 7 strength, like your opponent's just not going to break it. They're just going to let the subs fire.
Yeah.
So you can play this little mini game where you can still tax them or just kind of maneuver some things or whatever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hammer just feels like a 6 gotcha ice, and it's just I really don't like hammer. I think like I was undecided about how I felt about hammer because I'm like I could see this being like necessary evil, yes, but like at the end of the day, it's just kind of like when hammer really matters, it's really bad feel, and then the other times it just doesn't matter, so it's bad feel. Like it's just kind of hammer's just kind of
Yeah, I would.
But
So like I wasn't
Mhm.
gonna play it in Leo because it was too influenced. You know, like if I were playing Ob or something and I saw a bunch of dolls in the meta, it would be no question. It's like easy to have this kind of
Right.
replaceable tech ice or whatever, but it's not good enough as it is to outsource to other decks.
Yeah, but then you don't really want to hammer to be like good enough on its own, and also tech ice. So it's like a really tough position to.
Yeah, I think I don't know how I would change it, but like
Make it for cost to res.
no, like I think I wish its sub were a little bit more. I don't know. Like I like the clause of like you need to use a killer to like, or you can only break one sub unless you have a killer. Like that. That part's cool. I think I would just. I think it's the subs that I would just change.
Yeah, I'm okay with the subs. I think the cost is just a lot. I would like take
The
away the
cost
tag.
is a lot.
I would like take away the tag sub and like make it 4 cost or something.
Yeah, but I think that's like to me that's why the cost is there. Like you see what happened to like Starlit Knight. You know what I mean? Like anything with a mean face check just gets like the 6 slapped on it or like 5 or whatever. But yeah, I think maybe you're right. You take the tag or one of the subs and you just make it for the res. Yeah, I could see that.
Like if you think about the times you're nostalgic for, like 2015 or something, a lot of the ice didn't have really powerful face checks.
I'm not a 2015 boy.
Okay,
but...
so you want like your Kitara Anansis only, where you literally cannot face check.
I like Cortex Lock. I like my little 2/4 Cortex Lock.
Yeah, I think that's like just kind of too much damage on a face check.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it's really interesting how Netrunner has gone like through this like giant curve from Worlds decks relying on Toll Booth to empty Mukwendu decks who run both Fairchild 3 and Anansi. Just like
back into relying on Toll Booth.
And then Toll Booth came back and was like, oh, this is fine again. Yeah, the whole ice dispel thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a believer in face checks that like they don't have to kill you, but they make your opponent really think twice. For example, if hammer was hammer, and maybe you even take off the claws, but it had like tracker subs, like I'd be cool with that. Where it's like you have to mind your cards, mind your money. Like if you have nothing on board and one of my ice is hammer, it's like gonna still do something. It's not blank, Like to res for 6, to have an ice to res for 6 that's only good in this specific moment that you hope that comes like is so mid. Like Whereas like back in the day I'm just sitting there like DNA tracker all posted up and it's like, yeah, you come at me. You know what I mean? And we could trade. Like I'm gonna pay 8 for this. It's not like I'm paying nothing.
Yeah.
I
mean Hammer is also Wayland Sentry, which like historically are bad.
I love Archer.
Yeah, but Archer is way different. Archer is like Biowak, and Biowak is exactly the same thing.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
It's the same thing, huh?
It is. Literally.
Biowak and Archer, same thing?
I mean, they serve the same purpose. I mean, this is the nice thing about designing Netrunner in 2025 because all the old hits are like gone, so you can just reprint cards and people are like, "Wow, that card's great! That's so cool! You forfeit an agenda. That makes sense. So you're like sacrificing some tempo, and you get this crazy effect. These guys are geniuses." It's like, oh, it's the same card. It's the same card.
God, they try to pull the wool over my eyes all the time, and the thing is, I'm not letting them have it, and all these guys think I should let them have it, but I'm not. I can't let them have it.
Okay, would you be happier if
they whack on the same card?
Would you have
fucking crazy?
It is basically the same card. Would you be happier if we literally just had Archer instead of Biowak? Why?
Bro, the thing is like it gives me money back. The thing is for the rest.
The subs are
like,
weaker. It only trashes hardware programs. Yeah.
That's all I fucking needed to do. I'll be dead honest.
No shot.
That's all I need from that thing.
No, Biawak is basically better than Archer.
Okay, are you rezzing it for 14?
Hell no. But like having 3 actual Enderon subs is sick also.
Like I actually got to play like Standoff, which was interesting. Like there's so many interesting things around the Archer too.
No, brother, dodging the question.
Like Jemison. Like there's so many fun things around it. BOAC now is just
that's just card pool being small.
And like BOAC doesn't even like usually happen in the Archer way. It happens because of eminent domain. Like let's be real.
That's the issue. Yeah, it encourages this kind of like cheese play style. Where like I'm gonna score this 3-1 and really drag this game out.
Yeah, but the 3-1s need to be broken for them to be playable.
Sure. No complaints there. But if they encourage a gameplay that's like
can we get rid of 3-1s then?
Yeah, there have been good 3-1s in the history of the game for sure.
Yeah, shout outs to Ares. Have you ever seen the BOAC Tucana double BOAC? Or sorry, sorry, eminent domain to Tucana double BOAC.
I have not.
That's pretty funny. That cost you like 15 million credits though.
I can't even extract the BOAC for anything. Like it's
not. That's a bad faith argument.
It's a part of it. It's all.
You cannot extract a BOAC, brother. Are you extracting the Archer?
I've had to.
No.
I've had to. Yo. People have had to. They're like it's like double botch on that shit and it's dead. And it's like extract, turn it into something else, keep it moving. I'm off.
I think this is literally a situation where if we had BOAC in the olden times, you would be really sad about Archer replacing it.
I'm not saying that BOAC doesn't have powerful subs, but like nowadays, as I said, like BOAC comes out because of domain.
Yeah, so does Archer.
Like there was Archer before eminent domain, and it was still fun.
Yeah. I can understand the situations for the cards being different, and the current situation where you play BOAC is maybe not as nice for you. But saying a BOAC is like not fun as Archer is wrong.
You like BOAC?
They're way more similar than they're different.
Yeah. Not really. I don't think I like BOAC, but like I didn't like Archer, so
they're okay. Here, I agree with you, but their differences matter to me.
Is that just
because you love Boomerang so much? You're such a crimhead.
Because I what? Say again.
You love Boomerang so much. You're like, I can't get through it with the Boomerang.
True.
3 subs is brutal.
3 subs is wild. But when you boomered an Archer, you had to make a choice, right? It was lose the programs or let it end the run. You know,
yeah.
That was cool. That was cool. And give me that money. So it cost me 2 for this 6, not like 50 billion.
Yeah, I think that's just nostalgia.
I am nostalgic.
Yeah. Okay. if you're like fair with that, I think that's fair.
Yeah. I miss a lot of my booze. I'm not shy about that. I talk about that all the time.
I mean, so do I. But like, you just have to be realistic with what you're missing.
I am realistic about
what No, like your realism is like...
No, I want flashy multi-access, and I want, power cards in every faction out of a 300 card pool.
Wait, did you say flashy multi-access?
That's what you want, but we don't have it right now.
No. I think I more asked you about because the reason I asked you is not actually because of me and my feelings around twinning. It's because twinning is like a talking point with a lot of people I talk to, and I just wanted someone outside who like talk to you on like a regular basis, like how do you feel about the twinning situation? Because when Stargate was playable, I mean, like I'm not like gonna be like, oh my god, I don't like twinning, and then be like, I want indexing. That's not really how I feel about the situation. It just feels like, for the most part, twinning is the only thing that works.
Absolutely. I mean? No, I agree with you. Stargate is cool, but it just doesn't make sense in a meta of like 50% Akka with Moonpool.
Right.
much less.
Yeah. Also, no beanie breakers, so the 2MU is way more annoying.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
So I that was not my
Mhm.
give me back deep data mining or anything like that. It wasn't like that.
Like
It was more just a
again,
conversation.
I think this is just an issue with the carpool being small, right?
Yeah.
Where you don't have options because like the carpool is just small.
No, I'm aware. It's just like it's like when you scream about something and you know you're going to be right, and then there's just like this deterioration for like 3 years, and then it turns out you were right. It's just this is frustrating. Small part pool, bad. Yeah, I told you that.
We're ready
No,
for
but,
power
like-
creep. Power creep is we need it. No one
Look,
will complain.
Yeah.
here's the thing. It's so funny when you mentioned power creep because I'm like, where power level is so low. Like, okay, Chris, in your wildest dreams, did you ever think a card like Daily Cast would ever be banned?
That wasn't on my radar. No.
This is where, like, I don't think people understand where we are. Like, or maybe they do, and it's just like, look, analyze Chris. He's found his niche. He found it in deck building. He has joy. So all of this doesn't really matter, But like, I don't know. I'm just someone who sits there and analyzes things. I just can't turn my brain off. And it's like, Daily Cast is banned. We live in a world where Daily fucking Cast is banned. And
Injustice.
Yeah.
no. And it's like, it's not only a world that Daily Cast got banned, it's a world in which Daily Cast had to be banned. Crazy to me. Like, way too far down the road that I did not want to go down. Like that.
Yeah, I guess the silver lining is that like the game system is flexible enough that you can have Netrunner 2025 that functions, and you can have high level events with like pretty good faction diversity at a low power level, and then you can also have 2017 Worlds, which is like the craziest high power level, but you still have faction diversity and archetype diversity. Same game, same mechanics, but like different card pools that function differently.
Scarcity for game.
Okay, scarcity is somewhat triggering. As a Haley player, just seeing that turn one and being like, oh, I guess I'm not playing this game. Never mind.
Just put your net celebrity down.
That plus 3. That's crazy.
Freedom through equality, anyone?
Oh man. Yeah.
Didn't you play that quest that gives you a point?
Oh, yeah. The
Notoriety?
I don't think that was in the Haley though.
Yeah. Anything, Chris, that we didn't cover that you wanted to get to?
I guess the only thing I wanted to shout out was something else I've done a lot in the past is alternate formats like drafts. Especially during pandemic, I ran a lot of snake drafts, and I ran a lot of auction drafts, which are a very fun and stressful way to spend a weekend. You'll have a crazy headache by the end, but you'll also be like, that was cool. So I really do think that's a fun way to spend the downtime between now and next set release. So if anyone's interested in running a snake draft, I have a spreadsheet, of course, that I stole from somebody who did snake drafts back in the day and just kind of made it look a little more user-friendly and pretty. And then Alex, Internet, again, ran it by some MTG people who did a lot of cube drafts, and they added to it. So it's really developed for the past few years. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to be updating it for the next set when it comes out. So feel free to DM me if you want a copy of that snake draft.
Yeah, we're running a snake draft currently in tiebreakers. Really fun to just have in the background going on. Hopefully it would go a bit faster. It's going on the third week right now.
That's too long.
Yeah.
You just say okay, Saturday everyone needs to be around for these 4 hours, and we can do 3 or 4 rounds, and then
doing it internationally with 9 people.
Yeah.
Does add a lot of time into it when people are not awake on the same time.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know what a snake draft is, this is taken from fantasy sports where everyone has a position 1 through 10, and you pick a card from the card pool that only you can play. and so you can get as many copies of that as you want to make a standard legal deck. Sometimes you do Eternal snake drafts. Sometimes you do standard snake drafts. And then so the first player picks their card, you go all the way to 10, and then it snakes back around. So the 10th pick, that player gets the 10th and the 11th pick, and then it goes back. And so you have this fun like meta game where you're evaluating cards, you're trying to see what other people are going to pick, and as their archetypes start becoming apparent, you can hate draft if you're willing to waste picks on that. And it's just like it's creating another fun layer of game on top of the game that we love.
Mm-hmm. Do you play any fantasy sports?
Not anymore. I used to play like fantasy baseball, fantasy football, but I could not keep up with card games and sports. I don't know how you do it.
I know. I'm in deep. I'm in deep. It's like, you know what? Actually, this year I would say, in terms of time, has been a lot less given to fantasy sports. Because like just like Netrunner, like I feel like I've gotten a lot better at it, and so like I know what I want to do in the week, and so like it's just so much more efficient, and like I know where my resources are, so like I know what videos I need to watch, like when. I'm not kind of scrambling. I'm not absorbing like too many videos. I just know which ones I want to go to. I know, like I have a way better understanding of like the leagues and like what will help me win. So it takes up a lot less time now, which is really good. So again, we can cut this out if you want. But I have
always the best way to introduce a question. It's gonna be good.
Absolutely. Can we talk about how they didn't want to see you win and like you were supposed to be a millionaire or a gajillionaire?
What happened?
I'm not sure what this is a reference to, actually.
Okay, so remember way back, and I'm like, you're like, yeah, I'm a teacher, and you're like, where do you work? And I'm like, I work at Apple, and then you told me the story.
They didn't want me to win. Dude, my memory is shot. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't remember this? Okay,
so I must have had long COVID. This is crazy.
Okay, so basically, like they were just like assholes, and you were telling me that you had really long hair, and they just were not feeling that, even though they were
yes,
very accommodating and accepting and da da
da. Yes. I was a part-time Mac specialist in high school or in college. I worked at the Apple store in the mall in southern New Hampshire, and I was trying to push people Apple Care on original PowerBooks, if that dates me a little bit. And
it sure does.
I tried to. Hey, we have Intel chips now. Can you believe it? And so yeah, I was trying to get that job back the next summer. I think it was my sophomore year, and my former manager called me and was like, "Well, we're not really looking for that type of salesperson anymore. With the long hair, kind of like hippie style or whatever."
Oh my god!
And I was like, "Huh? I think this is a form of discrimination."
Yeah.
But it was a summer job, so I was just like, I don't need this. Fuck them. So I stopped working at Apple.
Yeah, good riddance. Yeah. Fuck Apple. This is an anti-Apple podcast.
And it's crazy because like when I heard this story, I was like, holy shit, because like I work at Apple, so it's like knowing about like the stock program, like from way back then, if they just like hired you back on and you did like it would have been crazy. Trust me, people would have been peaked. I was like, damn, they did you dirty, bro. They did you dirty.
It's okay. I'll just I'll just laugh my way to the bank when I collect my pension in 10 years.
Yes, but like you would have been retired now almost.
Yeah.
They did my man Chris dirty. They didn't want to see him win. I can't believe it. Because like you're so good with people. Like I don't know. They were on some shit. Unreal.
It was weird because like 2 years later they were suddenly this like crazy like liberal accepting company again. But like for those 2 years they're like, oh no, we're clean cut now, and like we're changing our brand. Like I don't think that makes a lot of sense.
It made no sense. Like when you were telling me this, I was like, this is completely the opposite of what's like happening right. Like you know what I mean? I was like, really?
Yeah.
Are we talking about the same plate? Like, it was crazy. I was like,
This was Southern New Hampshire in like 2003. So like, you know,
yeah.
A bit different than Toronto,
maybe that's
Canada.
part of it. Yeah, not the most enlightened place.
Shout outs to 03. That was a good year.
Right, 2003.
Yeah, that was LeBron James' like rookie year. That was hype.
Yeah, my wife just told me the other day, like, oh, LeBron James has been a basketball player as long as I've been a functioning adult.
Oh my god. Oh, okay. Here's the other thing. You messaged me. And we gotta talk faucet, okay?
Oh my god. Dude,
yeah, we gotta talk faucet because like I appreciate the deal. And you were like, you could do it because you clean the pipes or whatever. Can you talk us through this?
Yeah, I'm very thirsty. I was dehydrated a lot in high school. I had to drink Pedialyte when I played tennis.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I just needed a lot of water. So I would just put my face under there and just drink straight from the faucet.
Yeah.
So good, like so refreshing, so quick. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily do that in like a public restroom or like someplace where I don't know anything about the sink. Like I clean my own sinks, it's fine. But yeah, I would not do that in public.
Yeah. So
okay.
Brandon is the only one who thinks it's weird.
Okay.
That isn't true. Axus.
Tell me one person other than you.
I mean, Cold Lava was like, yeah, I'm with the Brandon's parents thing.
Okay.
But dude, I'm not making out with the faucet. You know,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like I'm not like licking it or something.
Yeah, the water is literally just falling into your mouth. It seems...
Okay. My whole thing with it was just like besides the parents thing was just like, again, maybe it's just like my head, but I just feel like it just wouldn't go well for me, and I'm just like. Probably getting a cup is just like at the end of the day, even just like the most efficient thing for me.
Did you test it?
But honestly, nowadays, like I maybe nobody else does this. Do you have water bottles in your home?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like to me, I'm just pulling up with my water bottle, filling it up anyway, because I don't want to keep taking trips to the sink. Do you know what I mean?
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you can just get cold water from the fridge or something.
Yeah, like I just feel like I just don't know why we're even doing this.
I mean, this is peak me in, you know, high school, like rushing out to like not dehydrate when I'm in between like runs of Diablo 2 or whatever, you know, like of like 10 seconds or else my team's gonna get upset. So I just want to guzzle as much water as I can. It's a very different point in my life.
So Diablo 2 is really the problem.
Yeah.
I see. Chris, anything you want to plug? Anyone you want to shout out?
Shout out Snare Bears. Shout out NSG for Incredible Worlds. That's about it. Shout out King's Court for like putting out content regularly. I do appreciate you guys, even if the takes are occasionally a little cracked.
One person's takes are.
Listen, he says that knowing that when like most people talk about the podcast, like there's some lines here and there, but like never fails at the end. And Axel's food takes are fucked.
Yeah, that's true. That's pretty true.
Yeah, like
I've also probably said some stupid shit today, so it's fine.
Like, you know, we Axel, always remember that you're Axel eater of cards.
God.
You know, just like it's Yu-Gi-Oh! King of Games. You're Axel eater of cards. Yeah, shout outs to Snare Bears. Need to get more.
Do we want to shout out the Snare Bears?
Like, here, yes, because like even without Snare Bears, a lot of my Netrunner career wouldn't be as memorable. It wouldn't be the same. Like, not at all. Like, obviously, you know, have like lots of friends in Snare Bears, but like the rivalry, the like every time being like, yo, I gotta be better at this fucking game because like I gotta beat these guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you're hungry coming up, when you feel like you're there and you're in the tournament and the snare bird knocks you on your ass, and you're like, "Fuck, I'm still. I need to get." You know what I mean? When you go through and you got to make this thing happen, and it's you and a snare, and you beat them, it feels like 30 wins. It feels like 30 wins.
Competition's like good for the game. Like this was me and comrades back in the day. Like I hated them, and I hated the idea of testing teams, and I hated like the fact that you could make this super group that just had this insane advantage. And it turns out that everyone else can do it, and now we have a bunch of like awesome testing teams. And so like, yeah, competition is good for the game.
So good for the game. And so like friendship, competition, absolutely I can shut them up for them. I want to like kick their ass and never have them win a game ever. Absolutely. That's never going to change. You know what I mean? But like the respect, absolutely. You have to. You have to. You know what I mean? You have to. Like, yeah. So shout out to the Bears. Shout outs to NSG. No, I haven't gone soft. Don't think I've gone soft. Okay? But I have to respect them as well. Okay. You know. Thank you, Chris, for coming on. It's been great having you. Aksu, pillar of the community as always. Please like, comment, subscribe. Are we doing a Wednesday, Aksu?
Are we? I don't know. Maybe. Are you done?
We'll talk. There may be a Wednesday,
Yeah.
peeps. We'll see. I hope you enjoyed the last episode. If you haven't checked that out, great insight into SBT.
Mhm.
And we outie.